Hello, people, and welcome to this 67th episode of my podcast with Network Marketing to the Moon. Today, we continue with the interview series, and I'm very happy, proud, and honored because my best friend is in the podcast. Not because he's my best friend, by the way, but because he was a great companion during this journey of the last years, not only since I started with network marketing. We are both entrepreneurs since many years, and today he's here willing to share with you his struggles, his pains, all the difficulties, but above all, also his vision in his business. Ladies and gentlemen, Samuel Naldi.
Sandro, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so happy.
I'm very happy to have you here, Samuel, because I'm sure it's going to be a great chat between the two of us. Since we do this every day, basically, so today it's going to be in a public way so that others can also benefit and take some pearls of wisdom out of this conversation. It helped me a lot, the daily exchange with you during the last years, because it helped me also to have another perspective, to have another opinion about what I was trying to do. And today, first of all, I want to introduce you to my community, to my network marketing community, because I know that you also have a great community on your side. So let us know, Samuel, what were you doing the last few years? Where do you come from? Maybe if you want to share also our story a bit from the beginning. So let's go.
Of course, with pleasure. Well, some of your community knows me by now, and a lot of my community knows you by now. That's how much we have exchanged throughout the years. And
it's called cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination, that's exactly what it is, and that's what I've always loved. I've been on a journey of developing an industry, which is the industry of fine writing instruments, of pens. Coming from the watch industry, I had this chance to see a whole industry rising and becoming extremely successful to a point where it's absolute normality now, but it hasn't always been the absolute normality. Watches were once not that desired. People once bought one watch and that was it for their entire life. While today it has become something collectible, a personal luxury, and something that you want to own also to make a statement, or because you appreciate the fine craftsmanship. And this context is, I make it in order to kind of make a context also about what I'm doing now. Pens have gone through an incredible crisis during 2010. Because of digitalization, because of the iPad, of the iPhone, of the Apple Pen. And what happened just a few years ago, around 6 years ago, was that pens started to slowly rise again. People started coming into my store. So I have a boutique in Zug where we retail, and we're authorized retailer of the best brands in the world here in Switzerland, but we obviously serve the whole world. Actually, 70% of our customers are worldwide. And the people coming into the store were starting to, say, I want to write again. I want to put things on paper. Digital is amazing, but I want to put things on paper and I want to feel what I'm doing. I want to see it. I want to cross it again, and so on. And so from there, I figured out that there was a huge potential in an untapped market that is extremely small still. And I started this journey in an enhanced way, starting with via YouTube, via social media, via personal commitment, like a personal mission, to speak about the fact that the writing instrument is something that is extremely important, extremely beautiful, telling the story behind the product, telling about the craftsmanship, and so on. And so, we started our journey together in that sense from our friendship. When in a moment where you were still fully involved in your IT consultancy business, and I was already on my journey, but in a completely different setup and moment of my journey. And I think, maybe it might be interesting in this, it might be interesting for me during this conversation also to get your point of view about my journey. Because we've been, really like you mentioned, we've been watching our journey. I've seen you going from one place to a completely another place. And I remember exactly where we were when you first talked to me about this journey in network marketing. And between us, I didn't really understand it in the sense that it was also so far from you as a person that I was like, I wasn't critical, because by nature, as an entrepreneur, I'm someone open to possibilities, to opportunities, and also to hear what people have to say in whatever segment it is. But knowing you, I wasn't really understanding where this could potentially go. And I think it's also normal. It's also normal because, we all start from somewhere. We don't have the point of view of the person that is doing that specific thing. And then it's up to the person that has that vision to make it happen and show with facts that things are going to happen and that it's going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just going to mention briefly up until the moment when you started with network marketing, because that then was one of the moments where a lot of things changed for you, and a lot of things also started happening in my business. And we also lost touch for around 6 months, not completely, but just we weren't meeting with the same frequency that we were meeting before. Because you mentioned often that you were in a situation where you kind of were trying to find your position in life and in your purpose, your mission, right? And you found it with network marketing. And I lived you during a moment where you were already a successful entrepreneur, and I was seeing you already as a successful entrepreneur. I think our personality is always very well, we always bring two sides of...
it matched good because we are complementing each other.
100%, right?
So what you are, I'm not, and what I am, you're not. So it was really...
Exactly. And I think that's where we learn from each other every day and all the time whenever we hang out together. And I think what's also very nice is the fact that we have taken the chance now to hang out a lot together because we're friends, because we're best friends, but also because we are so involved into each other's businesses, just also for a matter of passion, for a matter of understanding what the other is going through and is living. I mean, in your sense, you're actually now fully involved since a few weeks, which of course makes me extremely proud and adds up even an additional layer to this whole thing. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to talk to the audience real quick. Right. I remember when Sandro and I were at the store. The store wasn't how it looked now, how it looks now. It was still very Spartan, very easy in terms of interior design. Old. Let's call it old. Thanks. It was a store from 2007, and we're talking about 2018. So it was old. Exactly. It was 10 years old, and it was already back at the time done with very little budget. It was very, not clean and clean in terms of aesthetic. And Sandro and I were actually there on that table, often with Karen also, and just talking about what needs to be done. And I was also going through a very difficult phase of my life for certain achievements that I didn't manage to achieve in a moment of life where I thought that by that age I would be somewhere, because I always have the feeling I was a quite talented person, but talent can be a big disgrace often, because with talent you can have the feeling that you can cover up not working with the talent, and therefore you're always reacting instead of proactively working on something. And yeah, so long story short, there was a lot of discussions, brainstorming, talking. And I think that all of this, Sandro, I'm going to ask you this. How much do you think that all of this brainstorming, I'm sure you remember, hours spent together at the store talking about what we're doing, why, how can we improve it. Your situation financially was already very, very good. My situation financially was in a completely different situation back at the time. But how much do you think it also had an impact on our common business? I mean, on your business and on my business?
Well, during this phase, we also got to know each other better, okay? And I always had the feeling while talking to you not to be judged. We were free to say whatever we want because we knew that we are two very smart and intelligent persons, and nobody would judge the other one about something, but we would rather make a conversation out of it to find the point. And I remember Friday afternoons, I was like, what are you doing? I'm coming for a coffee. Tag. I was driving to Zug for a coffee. Sometimes we were at the table. Sometimes we were even sitting on the stairs at the entrance. I remember because we were just... I remember. And it was good because you were talking with me about your ideas, your vision, your fears. On the same time, I was giving you advices based on my experience as an entrepreneur, because I'm very numbers driven. I'm very focused on incoming producing activities. So I don't like that too much cosmetic stuff. I prefer to go straight to the point. So I think that this phase helped the both of us, because while I was telling you what would be the best thing for you, I was realizing more and more that my current business didn't satisfy me anymore.
It's beautiful.
So that's it. So it helped me also to find my place in this universe. My ideas weren't that clear like yours back then, because I was so much involved in my IT business. It was all I was doing from morning till evening. It still allowed me to go on Friday evenings for coffee with Samuel, though, which today is not impossible.
Again, today we spend time for our businesses, and that's what we enjoy to do. Every hour we spend is also meant to bring an added value to our businesses, and that's a beautiful thing, right? Back at the time, it was really brainstorming. It was more on a friendship kind of base, and still trying to understand what we were going to actually do and make happen. Today we know what we're making happen, and we're just talking about those things. And for the type of persons that we are, I mean, what we do is our passion. Business is our passion. This is a big privilege, and it's even more a privilege that we do it as person who trust each other and that know that we're not gonna let us down in all senses.
And I remember one day when I just started with network marketing, I called someone and they, we need to go for lunch.
The Grand Cafe, remember?
Yeah. And we went for lunch, and he was sitting there in front of me, and I was talking with him. Yeah, I have a new project. What is it? Network marketing. He was like, okay. And then I told him about the products, and he was asking very intelligent questions back then. Also, he was putting his fingers on potential risks, saying, this could be that, but somehow I understand where it's going.
Was I overly critical back at the time in that sense? I would be interested, because I'll tell you why I ask you this. My feeling was that I didn't have an opinion. I definitely, sometimes see dangers in some things more than in other things. But did you have the feeling that was very critical and very negative about it?
No, but you were surprised. Because the feeling was that I'm here and I'm going here. This was a bit the feeling. Also, just to make it clear, also myself, I never had the impression that I was doing now the jump of my life. You understand what I mean? But I wanted a change. I needed a change. So this was for me the opportunity I was waiting for. Doesn't matter if at that moment in time I had the impression that this could be like much more than what I ever did with IT. But you were quite surprised during this conversation, and
I'm sure I was.
yeah. And that's why I was there to explain, to clarify, to describe how everything would work. And I remember back then, due to the euphoria that came up during this conversation, because I was sharing with you my vision, what we would do with this company, you subscribed.
Of course.
You started.
That wasn't even a question.
Yeah. You started in my team, and you can confirm that from the beginning, we were doing things how they were supposed to be done, by being in touch, by doing Zoom calls, because yeah, we were in touch also with the other members that joined in the meantime.
It's amazing that we're going through that. I'm trying to understand and to recall my feelings. That's why I'm looking a bit in the clouds. And I think that's a very important thing to mention. You were absolutely doing from the beginning meetings and explaining and showing, and the 5x5, I don't know how you call it, 5x5, right? The 5x5, the potential gains. And you were talking about numbers where I was saying, okay, I mean, yeah, we surely can get there, but when and how is the other question. And honestly, little did I know that you would be here 4 years later where you are. That's also a bit to show that in general, no matter how close the relationship is, no matter how much of a visionary I am in what I am doing, only you know what you're doing. And there's a quote from Charlie Chaplin that says, listen, don't worry, nobody else knows what he's doing. So we are all here trying to understand what our space in the world is, and we are all here to make things happen, and with our actions, and let our actions speak louder than our words. And so this is a big compliment to you in that moment, and also realization from my side. I remember being on those meetings. I do remember also being very busy with my things. I do remember that my brain was fully covered with my things. And I was in those meetings, and no one of us was actually already understanding back at the time what you had in mind and what your vision was and what your strategy and plan was. And yet, here we are today with 150,000 people that are part of this network, which is incredible. Which is incredible because we were just a few of us.
Yeah, but I remember like it was yesterday when we were doing Zoom calls with your team. You managed to grow a team of 20, 21, 22.
No, I had like 87 people.
87 at the end.
87 people. I remember seeing the 8. Imagine where I would be if I just kept on going.
87. Yeah, but I remember, I mean, the people that joined the Zoom meetings were plus minus always the same. So I remember their faces. I remember you trying to expand also to Spain, and we were starting to gain some, not
traction,
not momentum, but traction. And then you called me one day telling me what?
I remember exactly where I was, because I was outside of the place where I live. I was with you on the phone. And I told you, it was a very important moment for my business also. I told you, Sandro, honestly, I don't think that if I keep on going with network marketing, that I'm going to be successful, because I am focused on doing what I'm doing. And so I have to decide if I do that or I do that. And you know how big my mission is. and I totally support you on your mission, and I'm with you, and I appreciate everything about what you're doing, but I need to go my way.
Yep.
You remember the conversation?
Yeah, of course, of
and
course.
what did you feel during that conversation?
I understood. I mean, for me, it was something that was already in the air. Sometimes I even thought about the fact, how can he be concentrated on both sides the same? Because back then, your vision became like clearer and clearer also to you. It's not that you were standing still and jumped into network marketing. No, you were you continued to keep expanding your vision and defining also your vision. So for me, it was clear that I would accept this, because basically you were telling me that you were quitting.
Yeah.
And here I want also to remark on something. Network marketing, it's known for ruining friendships and family. Okay, because people claim that apparently when someone from your family doesn't want to join, when someone of your friends quits, because the friendship or the relationship is ruined. We are here, the living proof that it's not like this. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if someone is in your team or not. It's about the person, about the relationship that you had with the person before. I also always suggest to my people, don't start a fight, don't start an argument because someone is telling you about their feelings and about how they feel in that exact moment. Accept it, because we are not that desperate that we need this person to go where we are going. So leave even the door open in case they might change their mind, in case their plans will not 100% work out, so that, as I said, the relationship stays, the respect, everything that you have built up until now is there. And you never know in life. You never know in life. So I completely understood your moment, because it was plus minus like my moment. I had also to let go
Things.
IT, some thoughts of security and stuff, to go all into this new opportunity. So I knew how you felt.
Which, by the way, two things. One thing, it's much easier to tap into network marketing when you're kind of desperate, or desperate. Let's not call it desperate, but just like looking to break through. While you decided to get into network marketing without having to break through financially. I mean, sorry, I'm gonna say it. You already had built an incredible house that we all dream of before you even started with network marketing. And I do remember that very well, because we were doing some real estate talks during that time too. It was one of the brainstormings we were doing. So our brainstormings were going on different directions, which again, I think it's something that enriches us today and gives us this very wide vision of things. And the other thing is what you mentioned. I think that this mentality that you bring in, this openness of mind, is exactly the success that is the living proof of the success that you're living. You are bringing in a new mentality into network marketing. I have had the chance until now to experience and to see what network marketing is when done professionally. And I think that there is a lot of work that can be done and that you are doing in order to professionalize network marketing and making it a real business, a structured business, but that gives you the chance to break through if you're committed to it and if you have discipline. So this is what's incredible, and I think that again, what's incredible now about us is that we influenced each other into reaching for those big visions, reaching for visions that go way beyond money. Because if we would be doing things for money, we you only need that much amount of money in order to live extremely well.
Yeah, true.
You don't need crazy amount. Often, Tony Robbins once explained, and he also explains it in one of his books, calculate what you would need to live over the top. And once you calculate it, you realize you don't have to be a billionaire. You probably don't even have to be a millionaire. So it's about having a mentality that goes way beyond making money, because making money is nothing else than the result of how many lives you can change and how many and what an impact you can have on other human being. And in that sense, you are having an incredible impact with your mentality, with your systems, with your way of working, and also with the empowerment that you're giving to women, especially women, and also men, and again, with the mentality that you bring in about becoming the person that you need to be in order to achieve certain thing. And for me, you've been the living proof of that, and that's what I also take with me all the time. I know what I have that other people don't have, but I'm especially looking for the things that I'm still missing to become the person that I want to become. And yeah, in that sense, it's always very enriching to go that path.
You said something very important that I would like to outline, because it's important also for every network marketer out there to understand. What separates the best ones from good ones or average ones, it's the fact how you view money on this journey and how you view your commissions on this journey. Because, as you said, many people, if not 99.9%, starts out of need. Okay? They start network marketing because they need some additional income. Nobody starts for a purpose. Nobody starts to find their purpose. The purpose reveals
itself
after, while you're on this journey.
Or it doesn't.
If you're too much focused on what you're making every month. But the risk is that you go from a business that is meant to be entrepreneurial to a business where you start behaving like an employee, where the commission is not based on performance, but based on time, because you managed to persevere another month, and you wait for the commissions like you were waiting for your wedge when you were still an employee.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point.
And this is a big risk, because first of all, it stops you from aiming for more, because sometimes, you think, come on, this few €100 or this few €1,000 are more than enough for what I'm doing. So basically you're saying you're doing not enough to deserve more.
Yeah.
On the other hand, your focus is what you're getting end of the month. So I would like that you share also a bit your struggle in this journey as an entrepreneur in a completely different business, but what helped you to sustain, what helped you to accept this phase of not earning enough because you were waiting on a specific moment?
Money is not going to make you happy. And it's going to make you happy 5 minutes. And trust me, if I tell you it's going to make you happy 5 minutes. Because I'm in a situation now where certain things in my life just changed. And it made me happy for 5 minutes. I think what I've always found extremely important is to be aligned with your values in what you do. And to aim for something that has a meaning, whatever this might be. It can also be personal. It can also be something about, making sure that your family can strive. So the goal becomes that your family can strive and not to earn that amount of cash. So I do think, and I am a purveyor of the fact that everyone should be free to have his own dreams and visions. And there's people who have bigger vision and dreams, and there's people who have smaller vision. What I think is extremely important is to play the game for the game's own sake. So to do things because they are right to do, and not to do things because it's going to lead me to a certain amount of money. So personally, the easiest thing I could have done, besides getting into network marketing, not that it's easy, but I would have had a great mentor. I was there also in a very good moment. I was inside in a very good moment, and it's always a good moment, and that's also a very important thing. It's like stock market. It's like maybe not crypto, also crypto, but it's like the stock market. It's always the wrong time to get in. However, if you get in after 20 years, you've made it. Right? So network marketing is exactly the same, and I would even be considering, and sometimes I even was tempted to consider to even rejoin now. Okay, just saying. To get back to my point, it would have been so easy to go into real estate and gain a nice commission from sales in real estate. It would have been so easy to go into an untapped market, a potential, a market with huge potential like watches, where, especially during COVID, it just hit another time on
last
top.
4 years, you would have
made an amount of money which is incredible. I think with my skills as a communicator, as someone who tries to have special relationships with people, and as a salesperson, I would have been highly successful. However, I had the desire, and I cultivated the desire to have an impact in what I do. Because I said, when I will have made it, I want to make sure that I have made it aligned with the values that you have. And that's what's going to make me happy and what's going to make me proud on the long term. So to get very specifically, I had to decide not to make money now, to go after my vision, to maybe do more in the future. And the aim was always having in mind what the vision was, what my values was, why am I doing what I'm doing, what is it that I want to promote, not only for me, but especially also for the people that are around me. And that's something that we always need to have it must be the first thing that we think about every morning when we wake up. What kind of impact am I having on people that are around me? And for me, having impact on people in my industry means to, grow it 10 to 20 times, which means having more families who have a job, means having factories who are profitable and therefore, that are worth it. So it wasn't just about how much I would make, but much more about what this ecosystem could finally be generating in order to get to the moment where I also will, of course, take the fruits of that labor and of that work. And I think in your case, in network market, not your case, but in the case of network marketers, you can make a lot of money all of a sudden because you've done great work, and you grow from zero, not zero, but you go from zero to a great amount of money. And what happens after 2 years that you've been doing money? You're probably sitting there and you're like, okay, I'm doing the money. And now? And if on the journey you haven't confronted yourself with values and with a vision and with where you want to be and what you want it to be your personal life mission, which again, it should be your personal life mission. It doesn't have to be Sandro's personal life mission. It doesn't have to be David's personal life mission. It doesn't have to be my life mission. It's your life mission. But you have to always think about that mission. You always have to think who you want to be 2 years from now without leaving the discipline of doing what you have to do to keep on reaching certain results. And I think that my biggest challenge was this one, was I'm a big someone who dreams very, very big and has a lot of these dreams. Also in the same world, I see things happening, I see things that are growing and that are being born. But in the meantime, I need to do what I need to do in order to get there. So this is what drives me. This is what makes me wake up every single day. This is what also nourishes my values, my morals, my power of living. But then you have to be there in doing what you do. And the risk is always that you are very good in one thing and you're very bad at the other thing. And you probably, guys, are a community of people that are extremely good at doing the thing that needs to be done. But then what are your visions? What is the thing that drives you? What is the reason why you wake up every day and do network marketing? You know, and at the end, it could still be, you know, you do network marketing because you want to also to build something outside from network marketing, but you keep on doing network marketing. But again, what is that? Why are you doing it? Why are you making all that money? What kind of value are you bringing? And again, it can be also to sustain your family, which lives somewhere else. It could be to make sure that that you can live well for the next 20 to 30 years. But again, why do you want to live well? What is the purpose behind that? Because just living well and saying, oh, we go to the restaurant, oh, we go to Dubai, oh, we go there, oh, we go business class. This is once you go to. I've been once on a private jet for now. Going to happen way more times in a few years, but I've been once on a private jet. Once you've been on a private jet, it's normality. It's done. That's the new standard. So with that, I just want to say, you know, once you enter in a certain sphere of things, it also loses value. And I know that it's repetitive hearing, yeah, it's not money that makes you happy. Money empowers you big time. And also money makes you more of what you are. So if you're, you know, an egoist, then it makes you 100 times more egoist. And if you're someone who wants to build something, it makes you 100 times faster into building that specific thing. And if you're a giver, it makes you 100 times more of a giver. But you always have to be already that kind of person. And money is an accelerator and is also a multiplier of what you already are. So for me, it's really aligning these two things, Sandro. And I think that's where we complement each other very well. I have become a doer because you are a doer. And you have become even more of a visionary that you already are, because I always dreamt so big. And listen, I'm gonna tell it from my point of view. That's how I've always seen it. And now we are in a position where you are an extreme doer, but you're an extreme visionary and dreamer of things that you want to achieve. And it's, you know, that can also be seen by the fact, and it's a very important thing, that it doesn't stop at doing network marketing and doing what you're doing. But in the meantime, you've started a lot of things. You've also empowered a lot of people to follow their dreams and to be in a position that they can do what they need to do. So I see in you also, with the amount that you are able to generate each month, I see you someone that wants to keep on building things, because the goal isn't the money, isn't the money generating machine, which you have to keep on nourishing and to keep on building, but it's all these things that are happening in the meantime and that you can build in the meantime?
Look, I think I share to 100% what you say, because it's the purpose that keeps us alive, and it's the purpose that lets us wake up in the morning and we feel full of energy. Because if you don't know your purpose, if you don't know why you're doing it, you feel empty in the morning. This is how I felt during my IT business, where I was just working for money. So what I appreciate about you is the change that you have made in the last years. Okay, from dreamer to a person that became disciplined, to a person that is doing a lot every day. And what you have mentioned before, I mean, one of my life mottos is, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. So it's for nothing when you only like torture your brain with incredible dreams, but then you don't move one finger to make it happen. And you had to go through this classic phase where every entrepreneur needs to go through, and it's the phase where you do more than what you earn. And the biggest amount of people give up during this phase because money is too important for them, and because they don't see the sense anymore. It's like you're working for a boss 60 hours a week and you're earning too less. You're frustrated. You're frustrated at the end of the month. As an entrepreneur, you are your own boss. You need to decide how much you pay yourself. And this salary will never match what you really do, because you're doing it for something that is bigger than that.
Yeah, and up until the time that it does 100 times more than it would have ever done every month of what you earned. So 100%, yeah.
So, but for doing this, you need to go through these phases until it reaches this peak. And then, because what I also saw in your case is you're reading lots of books. You're continuously and constantly researching new philosophies, new approaches, just to understand if you're on the right path. Your personal development that you have done during the last 4 or 5 years is huge. And believe me, this is what brought you where you are right now.
100%. You have to be the person you have to be in order to achieve the things you have to achieve.
That's it. And you know Dennis Gava, right?
Yeah.
He tells me all the time, Sandro, there are personal goals for your life that you maybe even sit on the table with your husband, with your wife, and you discuss these goals. And these goals that justify the amount of money that you need to earn in life. If you put yourself only professional goals connected to money, you will go there, maybe. You make this 100,000 a month, and then what are you doing with this money?
Yeah,
this is the moment you realize that, as you said, money doesn't make you happy. Even the biggest amount of money doesn't make you happy.
Because it's not aligned with any value, with any dream that you have, what you're going to do with the money, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So for me also, making lots of money is nice, but having different visions, having big visions, having stuff to do with this money, this is what keeps you going. Because I know other people that with much less than me are already in this relaxation mode, and they already think that they have achieved everything in life, when I have the feeling that I've just started. This is
and I'm gonna tell you, I think, Sandro, that by now there is one secret in order to, there's people who have this in them, right? And just dream big and have these values and have these dreams of what has to happen. And if you don't have that by yourself, there is one secret on how to get that inspiration that you need. Ask questions. The more you ask, the more inputs you get. Ask specifically. And Sandro, I did that 3 weeks ago with you on Instagram. I mean, we're best friends. I text him on Instagram. Can you imagine? And I text him on WhatsApp, and he replies on Instagram. I mean, that's just another follower. And I asked you, Sandro, what do you do to stay calm? Because I'm a volcano. I'm a volcano in every sense, positive and negative. And honestly, I want to be a volcano in positive things. I don't want to be a volcano in the negative things, where that specific thing triggers me. And so, what did I do? Did I take the first book that I thought was going to help me? Did I try to find it out by myself? No, I asked. I asked the person that I thought is one of the most calm and relaxed person when even something critical happens. So I asked, and I got informations that served me as an inspiration, that then allowed me to do something that this person had done in order to be that person, that calm person, that relaxed person, even in critical situations. And during my time, Sandro, everything that I didn't know, everything that I needed inspiration, everything that I needed clarity in my life was always through questions. Asking questions to people where I feel like this person can give me an answer. This person can give me an inspiration.
You remember when we were in Vegas and we recorded the podcast with Eric Worre? He also said he knew that he had his limits, but what allowed him to grow is going and observing these people that in this specific area were very good, modeling these people, asking questions to these people, spending time with them just to see how they behave, how they do. And this allowed him to grow on all these areas. So this is a very good advice that you're giving now. I mean, I was talking yesterday during my Monday motivation, and I said that one big goal for 2025 should be mastering how to ask the right questions to the right people.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
And this is a fact because it influences our thoughts. Asking questions means that you learn how to gather information, because the most powerful thing on the world is not money, is information. Mm-hmm. And when you can feed your brain with the right information because you know how to ask the right questions, is an absolute game changer for your growth.
There's one sentence that helped me big time of something that I read in a book that Lapo Elkin wrote, which during my young years I was absolutely amazed by his style and his way of thinking about creativity. And he was also saying, ask questions, and the worst thing that can happen is that you get a no. How bad can that be? You get a no. I ask you something and you tell me, no, I'm not gonna give you that answer. It's not even gonna happen. The crazy thing, and one thing that one of my mentor told me was, you're gonna be surprised how many people are willing to share their knowledge with you if you just ask them. You'll be surprised. And I've had the chance to be with very important entrepreneurs. Some of these entrepreneurs are part also of my ventures. And every time you ask them a question, you get an answer. None of them is just keeping it for them. But if you don't ask the questions, you're not going to get the answer. And the answer is not going to be something that you need to implement exactly one-to-one. But it's going to be that little additional piece to the puzzle who's going to help you achieve your own path and your own vision. So every time I don't know who I want to be, or I don't know where I need to be, or I don't know how I need to achieve and get somewhere, I go and ask questions to multiple person with multiple point of views in multiple situation of their life. And these are all piece of a puzzle that I then put together. And sometimes there's just one piece missing, and you're going to fit it when there's one piece missing. So if you keep on asking the right questions, also smart questions, because sometimes you only have that amount of time, right? With one very successful person. That's also a reality of thing, you know. The people say, oh, there's no stupid questions. There's no stupid questions, but there's questions that you need to ask in a certain moment. So like you said, there is smart questions that can be asked. Think about them when you're at home alone, so that when you're in the right moment, you can pull out those questions. You can get that insights. You can get that experience, that those pieces of information, and like that, build your own puzzle. That's going to be an amazing 10,000 piece puzzle that people are going to stare at and say, "How did you build that puzzle?" By asking questions.
Yes, amazing. Yeah, this is a great advice, as I already said, which I recommend to everyone. So to wrap this podcast slowly up, since it's a network marketing podcast, I mean, you have been with me twice in Las Vegas now at the biggest network marketing event in the world, sitting there with me, learning a lot, and you're in sales, okay? Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure many people that will watch this podcast are also in sales, or I'm curious, and they are also curious about what are the things that you have learned at these two events that helped you also to get like a new perspective, a new view about certain things that in your opinion back then you thought, no, it's only gonna work like this. But it somehow like opened your mind saying, no, let me try to do this.
So let me say one thing to start. Mm-hmm. If you are in network marketing, if you work in network marketing, you have to be at Eric Worre's event. And I'm sure Fraser Brooks is also doing events. You have to be at Fraser Brooks' main event, and you have to be at Eric Worre's main event. No question asked. I don't want to hear nothing.
Why? Explain why.
Because if you're in this industry, if you're doing this, it's like saying I'm gonna miss the main showroom for pens or for watches or for fashion. I'm not gonna go to Milan Unica because I'm not gonna go. I don't need. I'm not gonna go to PT because I don't need to go to PT. I'm not gonna go to Watches and Wonders because I don't need to go to Watches and Wonders. Okay, you're gonna miss out on novelties. You're gonna miss out on the latest trends. You're gonna miss out on networking and building stronger relationships with people who again are gonna bring you further in life, because just having those inputs is gonna bring you further. You're gonna miss on information. You're gonna miss, in your specific case with this kind of events, you're gonna miss on informations that you needed in this exact point of your life. The events at Eric Worre's, some parts might be a little bit repetitive, but I've never seen you not gaining new insights every year we've gone and coming out with a new takeaway. Yes, one reason for the way how Eric programs these events, and I look forward, for example, also visiting one of Fraser Brooks' events. On the other way, just because your mind and your situation is ready for that specific moment, for that specific piece of information. Okay, so I wanted to say that it's extremely important to me, because you mentioned I came twice, and I'm going to come a third time, even if I'm not in network marketing, just because I love cross-contamination. Cross-contamination has always been a piece of who I am. Because again, cross-contamination is asking questions to another point of view. I'm not directly asking questions, but I'm getting the answers without having to ask questions. So what happened when I came to Eric Worre's event, for example? I gained, first of all, the spirit of high performers. I've seen how high performers work, what they do, what they say. how they think, how they move, how they interact. And I like and dislike certain things, but I've seen it. I've gained information. I've added new pieces to my puzzles. And I have learned to appreciate the professionalism and the discipline with how, if you do network marketing right, how it brings you to very specific results, not only network marketing. So there's one specific example that I can do, which some of you already have heard by now, and it's when last year, not 24 but 23, Eric Worre said, okay, now you have 30 minutes of time and you have to write to 50 or 80 people, I don't remember, to 80 people, just start a conversation. Business is conversation. This is something that I learned there, by the way. I knew it is, but it's much more on purpose now and much more purposeful. And he said, business conversation, start a conversation. Just text people, hey, how are you? Just, hey, how are you? And they're going to text you back, and then you're going to say, hey, I'm good. How's your weekend been? Oh, it's been good. And that's how you generate business. And at the beginning, I was like, I am Samuel Naldi. I have a YouTube channel in my industry. People know me. I'm not just going to start randomly chatting with people. Hey, how are you? And after 4 minutes, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm here. I'm not going to lose this possibility. I'm going to start. And then I start going, for example, it's just an example. I'm not afraid of sharing that, even if my community is watching. I started going into our community chat of WhatsApp community chat of Style of Zug. And I realized there were 130 people, of which only 25 were people that we are in touch. And so I started texting, hey, thank you so much for being in our community chat. How are you? Hope everything is good. If I can ever help you with something, let me know. In the same evening, I closed down deals, not because I rushed them into closing down deals, but they already had the desire of something specific, and I just never got in touch with them. So this was a big takeaway that I took from network marketing into my business. And it's a big takeaway for everyone in all businesses. So with that, I want to say that network marketing might have a bad reputation for some things. One thing might be certain companies over the past decades. Another thing might also be the fact that there is people who, network marketing is accessible to everyone. So there's people who start and they start doing things without studying, without getting into it, which is the opposite way of how you have approached network marketing. Once network marketing will be in a position where people enter network marketing and they know that they have to absolve a certain,
path
process in order to be good network marketers, and you become a professional network marketer also with experience, the network marketing will be a highly sought after industry, just like banking is, just like IT currently is, because it's a place where you can make it happen if you want to make it happen, if you're disciplined enough to make it happen, and if you just listen and do the things that need to be done in order to get there. Yeah. Now, you told me one thing, Sandro. There's two things I need to mention, which are extremely important, which I took away from network marketing. Two things. I think Eric mentioned the fact that people who contact, 90 people within 2 months or 1 month, I don't remember what the exact numbers in how many months, are the people who are going to be successful in network marketing. And then you told me, Samuel, you see all the Essence Tribe members which are here, everyone who's here today and is a high performer has done that. The difference is between people who do that and don't do that. And the 90 days run is another of those things. Neuza told me something that also touched me. Yeah, again, you see, I got so many inputs from so many different people just by being there, and super, super inspirational for me. Neuza told me, when I decided, okay, I'm going to do that 90 days run, I called all my friends and I said, for 3 months, I'm not going to come out to a bar, to drink something, to eat something. Every meeting I'm going to have is going to be a meeting that's going to be in for business. And so the difference is often into people who do things and don't do things. And this is something that I take away from network marketing, because the success in network marketing is immediate. If you do the things you need to do, you'll have the result 1 week after. And so, yes, it takes time to get where you need to get, but it gets way more time to get where you need to get in traditional business. In network marketing, what is amazing is that if you have the purpose, if you have the vision, and if you have the willingness to do what you need to do, you're going to get there extremely fast. And with Essence Tribe, definitely even more. And I really mean that.
Yeah. So I'm happy that you mentioned this, because these are our fundamentals. I mean, Essence Tribe, our community, is nothing else than next level mentorship for free, because you're anyways there with us. You learn. We are very approachable. We are there for you, with you. We show you the way, but we are also willing to give you a hand, and also to promote the ones that we see, okay, these are not just talkers, but definitely also doers, because they have the right focus. They found their purpose. We also help you to find your purpose down the road, because it's not something that you learn in school, right? It's something that it has to do with your personal development. So we show you how to do it. The other very important project that we launched not long ago is our Academy project. Because as you said, we are strong promoters of the fact that network marketing is a profession. And like every profession, you need to study the things before you become a pro. And what lets you become a pro is the experience that you gather, and all the stuff that you learn during the fact you start as a junior, then you become a professional, and then you become a senior. This is the career path on every traditional career out there. But in network marketing, it's the same. People are just not willing to hang out enough to do this. So we teach people in our academy how to develop leadership, how to develop personal growth, how to develop the network marketing skills. And on these 3 pillars, you become fit in all the areas so that you can succeed to 100% in network marketing.
If I would be starting network marketing, that's exactly what I would be doing. I would be starting with that. I'm not doing a promotion or nothing. It's very easy. Finally, next to the incredible mentorship you can get from Eric, from Fraser, there is this very specific and concrete thing. If I start into network marketing, go there. You're surrounded by the right people. You have top-notch professionals who've made it and know how to make it, and you're giving access to making this industry extremely professional, together with a few other big actors which are there since also decades. So, from that point of view, amazing. Compliments and congrats.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time, Samuel. Well, I think we were talking for 1 hour now, and it flew back just like this, like always. Thank you very much for your friendship. Thank you very much for being a great partner in crime, for all the things that we have done and we are going to do in future.
I'm looking forward to it.
I want also to thank you for being here with us on this 67th episode of my podcast with Network Marketing to the Moon. I'm sure you had lots of takeaways. If you don't subscribe this channel, subscribe it now and activate the bell so that you won't miss one episode in future. And if you don't follow me on my other social media accounts, they will be shown at the end of this video. Thank you very much for being here. See you next Sunday.